G'day YouTube, how the heck are we doing? It is Foul Play here and we're back again for another Modern League. So, unchanged main deck with the sideboard, however, we've brought in Pithing Needle and taken out Tamiyo's Safekeeping, adding the fourth Deafening Silence back in there. Match number one, we won the die roll on the play, mulling this no creature hand. Still no good, down to 5. Alright, this looks a bit better. Bottom Floofy plus Temple Garden. Gonna need a little bit of help from the top of our library to get there. Also played a league. Turned out to be off camera, went 1 and 4, not so great. City of Brass, so probably some kind of combo deck, right? Cartouche. Sure, we will play Cartouche. See if our opponent responds. Looks like that one resolves, and we'll just go for our Griff Spoon now. Doesn't really matter which way we do it. I guess there could be a dashed Ragavan. So technically, Sentinel's Eyes is correct. I'm playing it to get around a future counterspell. Otherworldly Gaze. For 1 mana, Surveil 3. Alright, so I think Otherworldly Gaze is like a deck. I can't remember exactly what it does. Haven't really paid that much attention. Haven't versed it yet either. So Narcomoeba onto the battlefield. Opponent getting in there for 1 damage and double City of Brass up for the next turn. Find a land. So I guess play around Spell Pierce. That is semi-popular these days. Try to resolve Sentinel's Eyes. We do. And then it's just a simple attack for 5. End of turn, opponent takes a couple of damage. Flashes back, Otherworldly Gaze. Narcomoeba to the bin. Well, we don't have Trample yet, so these Narcomoebas could slow us down a bit. Main phase, City of Brass for blue. Otherworldly Gaze. So it does just look like this is a Dredge deck we're versing. Merchant of the Dale, Narcomoeba, and Gemstone Mine to the graveyard. Alright, so Trample would be really, really good here. Not Trample. Alright, let's just go ahead and attack. I'm happy. Yeah, this thing's got first strike, we're fine. Happy throwing away the warrior token if they want. That's fine. And chump block on the scout as well. City of Brass for red. Double red. Cathartic Reunion. We see Oxthrug to the graveyard. A couple of Creeping Chills come in. No prized amalgams yet. Bit of life gain for the opponent though. I think our opponent likely blocks here. If not, we'll just get in for the free damage. We'll hold Ethereal Armor. It's better if we have Ethereal Armor, because then if we draw Floofy, we can tutor an Aura. If we play Ethereal Armor there, we're attacking for 8, putting our opponent to 4. They're likely blocking with the Narcomoeba. It's a little surprised they didn't, because if we draw Trample, their game plan just like falls to shit. So, alright, so Ox from the graveyard. Escaped. So these Dredge triggers. Creeping Chill. Third Creeping Chill. Third Creeping Chill out of 41. Ah, Silver Smoke Ghoul. Perfect. So 3 Silver Smoke Ghouls as well. 3 prized amalgams, although I think prized amalgams coming in our end step. Trample. Trample. Screw you. Life gain. Life gain or trample. There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Horizon Canopy. Just what we need. What do you mean? I've literally clicked on it. Attack for trample in the air. For opponent blocked out the 4 damage last turn, they would have been on 13. They would have gone to 2. So, a little bit of a mistake not blocking with the Narcomoeba. So it appears this is what Dredge is about these days with the otherworldly gaze, just giving them that extra 1 mana effect to essentially, like, it's almost faithless looting, right? Alright, interaction. We see Portable Hole, we see Wear Tear, and Gemstone Caverns for them to try and be a little bit quicker. So our sideboard is completely ill-equipped for this matchup. I don't see anything I want. Maybe with Portable Hole we can bring in 1 or 2 force. That's possible. All that glitters. Cartouche Chump Blocker could be nice. I don't think flying is super valuable. There's also potential for like things like engineered explosives too. Opponent moves to 6. We will join them. We got a floofy hand. That deck runs 1 Conflagrate for Dark Blast. It's vulnerable to Portable Hole as well. You know what? We're up a game. Let's do it. We'll see how we go. So opponent all the way down to 5 cards. City of Brass. Sorcery Speed, Otherworldly Gaze. Silver Smoke Ghoul to the bin. And that is not land. Alright, pass turn. And no effects from me. Opponent playing Instant Speed. Alright, well, no land drawn, but Slippery Bogle. Guess Bogle will do nicely. End step, flashing back the gaze. Finds Creeping Chill. Silver Smoke Ghoul, I think, triggers. No? What? Ah, damn, this only operates during their end step, so I guess our opponent with a slight misplay there. Thrilling Discovery. Yep. Creeping Chill to the bin. Golgari Thug was dredged. Portable Hole, we can see right there. Windswept Heath, thank you, deck. Lovely stuff. So we don't really need to rely on Floofy Paws here. We can just rely on our own deck. Double Aura, attack. Alright, opponent with City of Brass. City of Brass, looks like Cathartic Reunion. Yep. So 2 thugs to the graveyard. They find Stinkweed Imp as well. A few of these guys triggering. Second, it's just Ox escaped, right? That's fine. Alright, so there it is. Ox escaped. So Prized Amalgam. Creeping Chill, so that probably means Silver Smoke Ghoul as well now. Couple of Narcomoebas. We do have Trample. We can get our lifelink on Daybreak. And look at that bunch of triggers. I think it's just a couple of Prized Amalgams though. Oh, 3? Never mind. It's a lot of Prized Amalgam. Alright, so triple Prized Amalgam, double Silver Smoke Ghoul. We find Temple Garden, so Ethereal Armor, Daybreak, attack while we can, and then next turn we can give pro creatures and attack through any of their blockers, so that's really strong. Alright, opponent dredges the Thug, Narcomoeba, trigger. Opponent attacking in for a million billion. We'll block a Prized Amalgam here. The Ox, we don't want to give them more Ox triggers, right? Although they're down to 9 cards in their library. Wow. Alright, go to 16. Opponent concedes. Alright. Well, we're pretty fortunate to draw the Bogle in the way we did then, but we take those wins, right? Alright, so here we are for the second match. We lost the die roll. Hand is looking good. Opponent keeping 7. We're doing the same. Stomping Ground into Cookbook. Alright, well, we've got pretty good auras here. We've got Hexproof guys, which is good into what our opponent does. Cookbook into Daredevil, back to hand. Opponent corrects Verdant Catacombs now. Finale of Devastation, sure. Search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less, so it's 0. So it's probably just getting an Asmora out. Getting the cookbook off the Asmora. Yep, cookbook revealed, and creates a food token, Daredevil trigger, sure. Alright, so let's Windswept Teeth for a Plains. Hyena Umbra for Totem Armor, just in case of some main deck explosives shenanigans. Go for Trample, so we can attack into our opponent. And I can't imagine a world where they're blocking here. Alright, so 4 damage through. Opponent to 13. Alright. Opponent plays Serenth, Steel Seeker. Cookbook, active. Overchase Devil, trigger. There it is, the attack for 3. No blocks from us, we go to 16. Still manageable. Find Dried Arbor. An unexciting draw, right? So at 6 damage, currently it's a 2-turn clock. I don't see a huge reason to overextend the Griff Spoon here. I guess we can. It doesn't really matter either way. Just make sure that our opponent can't block, I suppose. Although that's not the best value for that creature. That's not why it's in the deck. So we attack in. Opponent goes to 6. And opponent concedes. Excellent. Alright, so we see this version of the Asmo Food deck with Finale of Devastation. Interaction of 2 main deck beside you. One sideboard. See Endurance. We see Force of Vigor. It's a bit of interaction from our opponent. Opponent's deck has Haywire Might, so we should probably be bringing in Pithing Needle to just name Haywire Might and get rid of that one out of the way. So as a Saga, I think maybe 2 Force is okay. Something like this. Alright, that's what we'll submit. Opponent miles to 6. This hand looks excellent. If our opponent has Thoughtseize, they can take our guy, but I don't think we saw anything to make them think they have black. They just play that black creature that goes to the graveyard and back for a cookbook synergy, right? Turn 1, fetching a forest into cookbook. Cool, bargain. Lovely, that's what we want to see. So we hit Temple Garden, we play our guy, we pass the turn. Opponent playing the Asmora, cookbook revealed. They, for some reason, don't play their second cookbook. I think that's a pretty strong read on Nature's Claim. I'm not sure we can try to play around it, though. It's Ethereal. That's Audacity. There's the option here to attack. Audacity will help draw us an extra creature. Again, if we're attacking into Nature's Claim, that feels kind of bad. We could be attacking into Force too. Maybe let's just hold off. Force is just a bit too much, I think. I think if we chose not to attack as well, we should have gone Rancor Audacity beside you on the Ethereal Armor. Alright, let's get our land drop. Cookbook, Overchase Devil. I keep forgetting about this legendary interaction with beside you. No blocks. 17 plays 17. Opponent plays second cookbook. Active, sure. A lot of food. And I guess they're just holding up another one of these beside yous. Alright, so Rancor. Rancor. Attack for 7. You haven't got a whole bunch of good targets, opponent. I guess Audacity is the best one. And the damage resolves. We'll second main the canopy and pass. Active, trigger. Active the other one, trigger. And opponent attacks for 3. We got a 14. I've got like Hardcast Force of Vigor up here. We draw a First Strike Aura. So I don't think we want to play into Force of Vigor. I think we just attack here. If they want to spend their money doing stuff, they can. If not, we'll play this one tapped. We could play a second Bogle, but it's kind of weak to explosives, so I guess we hold it in hand just in case. Opponent, food active, gains life. Food active, gains life, sure. So we net dealt 1 damage to our opponent. Alright, food. Devil. Another food, another devil. Sure thing, that's a lot of food. Opponent continuing the barrage. I'm okay with that. What a draw. Why couldn't you be an Aura deck? Come on, man. Alright, so we'll do the same thing. We'll attack again. Then I guess I will play one of these guys out post-combat. Opponent gains life twice. And there it is, attacking with the Asmora again. No blocks from us, we'll go to 8. 4 cards in our opponent's hand. They can do some cookbooks actives whenever they feel like. Sure. Alright, and we see Feasting Troll to the Graveyard. Vigilance, Trample. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, create 3 food tokens. Sacrifice 3 food tokens, regenerate it. Sacrifice 3 food tokens, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only during your turn. So opponent did activate it during their turn. We got pretty lucky. We drew Sentinel's Eyes. We got our first strike as well. So we have to assume our opponent does not have enchantment interaction here and just attack as if they don't. I think they would have possibly started popping it off earlier if they did. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Opponent blocking with their fatty. Alright, I'll yield priority. Gaining some life. Alright, that's good. That's a good sign. Gaining some more life. Have you just got the force and you're slow rolling it? I'm confused. Alright, so we deal damage. Pass turn. Opponent with Scrap Worker Mart. Enters the battlefield. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Oh, look. Look what they discarded. So 3 in hand for our opponent. And our opponent concedes. Excellent. On to the next match. Welcome back to the 3rd match. We won the die roll. We're on the play. That hand is not keepable. Neither is this. Opponent keeps 7. And we're to 5. We're to 4. Alright. Keep and pray. Ditch. Ditch. And ditch. Maybe it's like, is it Murktide and just a 3-3 Vigilance first strike gets us there? We'll see. It's pretty rough going to 4 though. And 2 minutes in, we get to our opponent's first turn. Blood Crypt, Thoughtseize. Alright. Goodbye, Hyena Umbra. Nothing like mulling to 4 and getting wrecked by Thoughtseize. Alright. Good old Thoughtseers bug. Hyena Umbra attack. Opponent goes for running 6. And I guess it's jumped. I guess. Let's kill their Ren. We're pretty like boned if they Liliana us next turn, but no way to play around that, not with this hand. Black Cleave Cliffs, this is definitely Lily, although Seasoned Pyromancer, yes, let's go. Alright, double Fatal Push discarded. Find the Razorverge Thicket. So Sentinel's Eyes attack for 5. If we play Razorverge, we could make our opponent waste a mana. If they're running something like Croxer, we could discard it though, and then we won't be able to potentially play a drawn Daybreak Coronet. So I think it's slightly safer to play it out. Opponent, Tarmogoyf, 5/6. Alright, any aura off the top. I'm not sure if Jund plays Assassin's Trophy or anything anymore. We brick, throw the Bogle down, pass the turn. Opponent gets Zeotor's Proving Ground. Attacks with the Goyf. This must mean they have a second Goyf. And Seasoned Pyromancer. Probably means they have like a removal spell for our auras. I think we just don't block. I think we're fine taking 7 damage going to 10. Alright, so why is the client interface being weird there? Colligan's Command. Well, opponent, you get a good hit. Congratulations. We'll go ahead, we'll attack. Hopefully, our opponent does not have Assassin's Trophy interaction on the Hyena Umbra. Alright, looks like we get some damage through. Opponent down to 3 life. Does not crack Verdant Catacombs. 4 cards in hand. If we take this damage, we're dead to Lightning Bolt. I think we block like this. Look to kill on Crackback. Of course, he has Liliana of the Veil. I don't think blocking, trading the Totem Armor is like realistic there. Opponent just perfect timing there. Alright, so I don't see a world where we survive after this. And yeah, that's not the draw. Alright, so Hand Disruption, Liliana of the Veils. We know what our opponent is about. The Line of Sanctity is good from our end. Probably look to bring in Floofy Paws. Maybe minus on All That Glitters. Cartouche is pretty decent. It's probably Audacity. Alright, so minus that. And it's a bit. It's not all doom and gloom. We did get our opponent 2-3 on a multiple. So, you know, with a similar 7-card hand, arguably we would have won that match. Keep. Snap. Really good auras. 2 mana. Can't complain. Weak to Liliana. It happens. Liliana's not that good for Jund these days, I don't think. I think mostly it's run as like a 2 or 3 of. I think we're unlikely to see 4 copies. Doesn't mean we won't lose to it. But definitely not throwing back this hand. It's incredible. Alright, turn 1, Fetch Shock. That could mean only one thing, Iok. Probably takes Ethereal Armor, maybe Spirit Mantle. Spirit Mantle is the better effect here, the only effect their opponent can't strip out. It's probably Spirit Mantle what they take. Take Ethereal Armor, sure. Hey, look at that, right on time, thank you. Well, we probably want to be aggressive, keep that tempo happening, have the attack for 4 rather than the attack for 2. Alright, Ragavan from the opponent. Turn 2, Ragavan's not the play opponent. So, assuming our opponent has Liliana next turn, I think Audacity being played out instead of Spirit Mantle is better, just because we do want to draw that second creature. End step, opponent cracks, Triome in tapped. And have we got that fun Liliana of the Veil? Opponent concedes. Let's go. Let's go. So, do we want to change anything from sideboarding here? I think we're fine to run it back. No white mana, no leyline protection. Opponent keeping 7 fairly quick. Oh God, I guess we can keep this. We have Totem Armor for the Dried Arbor. Alright, so we'll go like that, and opponent can get into it. Turn 1 Ragavan. Exciting times. Alright, land pass. Opponent attacks Ragavan trigger. And what does Ragavan find? Windswept Teeth. Alright, that's good. Good, our opponent's taking away junk cards. Alright, Shocks in the Stomping Ground. Taps, taps, taps. Season Pyromancer, sure. Iok discarded. Alright, let's get out Dried Arbor. I mean, it likely there's some burn effects just going to kill it, but we'll see. Maybe in the time it takes for our opponent to do that, we can draw a Floofy Paws and be happy. Or a Scout and be happy. Alright, opponent attacking for 5. That's going to put us to 12. Ragavan trigger. Finds Sentinel's Eyes. It's not that good here. If our opponent casts it, blocks with a creature and it goes to our graveyard, we can recast it from our grave. It is an extra stat on one of their creatures, so they could play it from that side, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. Looks like we get to untap. Sentinel's Eyes is not cast from our opponent. And yeah, we'll Sentinel's Eyes of our own from hand. We will attack for 5. I don't think we want to tap our creature out. I think we just leave up for blocks. Although maybe that's a little bit precarious. Maybe we do just Spirit Mantle. Because 5 puts us to 7. They can't Lightning Bolt face. Assassin's Trophy or some other effect. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If it was kicked, exile target non-land permanent instead. Okay. Liliana. I'll scoop to Liliana, I think. Maybe not. Maybe we draw Floofy and rebuild. Fun times. Well, at least we didn't lose Spirit Mantle to it. If only we had Veil of Summer. Holding up Lightning Bolt mana, attacking. Alright, come on. Floofy, Floofy, Floofy. Sentinel's Eyes, another hit and a miss. Oh, opponent buying into that one on the elemental token this time. And we break. I think we're just dead, right? There's no combination here. Alright, so go ahead and concede that one. Unfortunate, but Liliana is strong, and opponent had interaction for our leyline. Alright, welcome back for the 4th match. We lost the die roll up against Vinslar. Our hand looks pretty stacked. Let's keep. Opponent Scalding Tarn into Misha's Bobble. Second Misha's Bobble. Targets us. Second one's going to target themselves, and then they'll make a decision from that point forth. Oh, they're going to just double target us. Not bad. Alright, Audacity. Well, jig's up. Temple Garden, Shock, Bogle. Alright, so step. Opponent targets us again. Cracks their land. And Hallowed Fountain in tapped. Very interesting. Ooh, Mox Amber, Mish's Bobble, third Mish's Bobble. Yikes. Emery. No explosives, please. Mox Amber as a Saga to the Grave. Ah, third path monk guy. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put 1/1 soldier artifact creature token onto the battlefield. So sort of like Seasoned Pyromancer, but for Urza decks, right? Island into exile. Alright, opponent is for all good measure tapped out here. We'll go ahead and crack this one. I guess we try and preserve a little bit because we could have some giant ass construct tokens attacking us in the face. We probably play around main deck Blast Zone. I think. Seems semi-correct to me. Mish's Bobble targeting us again. By Blast Zone I meant Engineered Explosives, but sort of the same thing really. So Umbra resolves Audacity. 2 cards in our opponent's hand. Audacity resolves as well. And attacking in. Alright, so we missed out on 1 point of damage from Ethereal Armor, but that's a-okay. Playing safe as possible. Alright, is this another expressive iteration? A Ragavan Dash, sure. Jeskai Emery deck. Trigger. Finds Dried Arbor. Well, thank you for stripping away a garbage card, opponent. Much appreciated. Opponent cracking Scalding Sun. Sorcery Speed. This is going to be a Blood Moon. We're okay against Blood Moon. We've got a lot of white stuff going on here, right? Mish's Bobble. Teferi. We're okay against that as well. Bounce Hyena Umbra. Sure. Mish's Bobble targeting us. Alright, so land would be good, so we can just dump hand. Hey look, a land. Beautiful. Dump this one. Dump this one. I guess we Sentinel's Eyes, missing out on 1 point to play around Dashed Ragavan. So Sentinel's Eyes, attack for 9 as opposed to Rancor attack for 10. Alright, nice, easy attack there. Opponent on 3, lots of work to do. Up to 5 cards in hand. Opponent concedes, let's go. So into a deck with like Emery Filth, I mean, we know Engineered Explosives is coming in against us. They've got other artifacts which are probably decent. Forces maybe a 2 of, not a 5 of. Jeskai colors, so no need to worry about Leyline of Sanctity. Let's go 2 Force of Vigor. I think this is weak. At least 1 here. Maybe on Audacity. I guess if we're bringing on Gadok Teague, we can -2 Floofies. And then just all that glitters. Alright, we'll submit that. And, I mean, hand looks good if we had green mana as well. As it is, I think we have to mulligan. Opponent keeps 7. This seems a bit better. Ditch Daybreak and keep. There's probably risk of Galvanic Blast as well, so Gadok Teague's not necessarily completely safe. Bobble Trigger. Razor Verge Thicket off top. Alright, so we'll play this one in tapped. Opponent's end step, we can crack that one away. Alright, so Ragavan from the opponent. And that one can go in tapped. Untap. And what do we find on top? A Rancor. Well, let's just assume they don't have Gal Blast. Maybe a bit of an oversight, but we'll see what happens. So, end of our turn, opponent cracks Steam Vents into a tapped Hallowed Fountain. Now we're going to our opponent's turn, attacking with Ragavan now. will take the damage. Ragavan trigger finds Audacity. Now I can confirm this card draw effect will apply to our opponent should the Ragavan die at any point. I think it's smart to put Audacity on the Ragavan here. Firstly, it's just bigger. Secondly, it makes it harder to block. And if we don't have first strike, which we don't, makes things a little bit hard. Grinding Station from the opponent. All right, so this is probably the graveyard deck, right? The 2-mana red enchantment. Sentinel's Eyes. I think Daybreak is fine. We want to get out of range of lightning bolt effects, right? That resolves. Excellent. Hit on in. Underworld Breach. End of turn. Opponent cracks. Sacred Foundry intapped. Down to 12. Alright, so opponent sacrifices Grinding Station to itself. Milling 3 cards. Springleaf Drum, Scalding Tarn, Urza Saga. See Expressive Iteration now. And there is Emery. Alright. It's not over yet. Red mana, Unholy Heat. Oh, lame. That is just enough damage to kill our guy. Island. Yikes. Bit unfortunate. So in with the Ragavan. Finds a second Audacity. Oh god, the hurt. Plays the Audacity. Doesn't even have to think. Well, we could force Audacity, but that gives our opponent 2 card draws, and that's kind of not what we want. Alright, opponent plays Third Path Iconoclast. And we brick. Lovely. Sack this, look for a guy. Be a guy, please. Daybreak Coronet is not a guy. Alright, pass turn. Opponent attacking in. It's going to knock us down fairly low. Trigger finds Gladecover Scout. Oh god. Come on, opponent. That's what we wanted, man. That's not fair. Frickin' rude as. Can go in on a Dried Arbor here, I guess. Why not? See if our opponent has the burn effect. Okay, so that does resolve, which is nice. And I guess the next thing is to give it Vigilance. Okay, Spy Bluff Canal in tapped. Opponent 3 cards in hand now. Presumably Spy Bluff was the draw for turn. White mana. Alright, that can't be good. It's got to be an exile effect, right? Or explosives. Prismatic Ending. Alright, get another Ragavan trigger, you damn bastard. Hits Forest, thank God. That's a good one. I think we want to give flying. If that resolves, maybe a Daybreak will too. Okay. And attacks in the air. Of course, just dead to Unholy Heat because, you know. Alright, we got through. Let's go. Back in business. I want to hold up blocks for the dirty ass Ragavan. Opponent doing something. Explosives on 2. Interesting. So you can get rid of Daybreak Coronet. We can't block because of that. Alright. What's our opponent going to do with this Rancor they've just found? Alright, so trigger there. Rancor on the scout. So we have force. I think we force here. So I guess it's Audacity Rancor. Let explosives do its thing. Then we get, opponent gets a card draw off Audacity. We get the Rancor back from graveyard to hand. And then hopefully we can kill on flying damage if we draw one more 1-mana aura. It's a pretty good aura. Cast. Cast. Attack. Opponent blows up the engineered explosives. Daybreak Coronet to the graveyard. Still attacking in the air here. These tokens do not have flying. Maybe opponent had the oversight of not realizing about the flying. Also, they did not realize the interaction of if they played explosives on one and popped it, the Daybreak Coronet would fall off for free. And opponent concedes. Beautiful. Wait, never mind. The damage went through. Match number 4. We won the die roll on the play. This is a pretty sad looking starting hand. Alright, we can do better. This isn't amazing, but I think it's a keep. Ditch a Temple Garden. Get into it. Island Memnite. Looks like we are versing Affinity here. Alright, well, let's go ahead and play our Floofy Paws. No attacks. Opponent passes the turn. Alright, well, we can just, like, make 2 massive annoying creatures here, right? Maybe there's a Metallic Rebuke from our opponent. But we'll Hyena Umbra it. We'll get Ethereal Armor onto the Floofy. Yes, it doesn't matter how we sequence this. And then we will Trample on the Bogle. Get Rancor for the Floofy. So we'll play our land out tapped and attack on in for a hefty 12. Opponent goes to 8. Beautiful stuff. And they concede. Let's go. Alright, well, I think we all know what's good against Affinity. Let's bring in Force of Vigor. Gaddock Kid Teague could turn off Thoughtcast. Maybe that's okay. I think maybe we just want to trim on our slow stuff a little bit here. Flying's probably alright. Maybe 1 to 2 copies of Trample out. Dryad Arbor is... probably shouldn't be minusing Dryad Arbor. Let's minus a Forest. Guess it's just one more Floofy. Should have kept that Forest in. Alright, opponent monster 6 and... Oh, this is a juicy amount of interaction, but the correct decision is to mulligan. Alright, this is looking a decent amount better. Keep bottom land. Obviously, if our opponent has counter magic, it's sort of annoying, but at least we do have interaction for them. And we do have to draw auras, or else we won't be able to cast Daybreak. Alright, opponent keeping a 6. Emptying most of their hand on turn 1. I think we just destroy the Mem Knights and then our opponent doesn't have mana. It's probably wrong, but if they have Thoughtcast or Thought Monitor, we want to keep them off of those effects for as long as possible. First draw is not a great one. Pass turn. If our opponent didn't have 1 card in hand, I probably wouldn't have done that. Alright, so they passed to us. So that's all A-OK. Hyena Umbra. Hiya. Good stuff. And attack. On to our opponent's turn. Frogmite for 1. And onto us. And that's a pretty good one. I did forget to crack my Windswept Teeth, so apologies on that. So we can Plains and Daybreak. Alright, no Metallic Rebuke from the opponent, so we'll go ahead and attack for 5. And pass turn. Opponent, Treasure Vault, and now the mana is there. See what's coming our way. Opponent concedes, 4 and 1. Pretty damn good. Alright, so 4 and 1 is a pretty decent result, and sort of takes me even for the day, right? Alright, well, the deck seems like good, but not completely busted. It seems like a little bit of high variance as well with the results. You can see currently I'm running at 60% win rate as well. Something to keep in mind there. Pithing Needle, I think, is a good inclusion from the sideboard. It does allow us to interact with a lot of our opponents' junk, like explosives like Renin 6, like Beside You. Just takes a little bit of skill. Sometimes you have to name the card before playing the Pithing Needle. Or Pithing Needle for those of you that are serial killers out there. Alright, so yeah, that's going to wrap it up for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down in the comment section below exactly what you thought of it. Yeah, thank you all so very much for watching. All the best in your Bogle endeavors. And until next time, have a great day. I'll see you then.